One more time, welcome to the University of Virginia 2022 College of Arts and Sciences Enrollment webinar. We're excited to give you some guidance remotely, and we're even more excited to see all of you in person during the month of July when you arrive in Charlottesville for a two-day orientation session that includes a chance to actually enroll in some classes on your own with guidance and assistance from deans and returning students who are, in fact, experts on this. Please note that we will have a brief presentation, and then you will be able to ask questions using the Q&A function. And some of those questions will be funneled to a panel of deans after the presentation. So we'll take some of those questions live and also answer your questions in Zoom. So let's dive in and get going. I'm Kurt Von Dack. Students know me as KVD, and I'll have two other deans joining me at the end of this presentation. But I wanted to do a little work and walk you through what you should be doing now. I think this is really important as you prepare for that July orientation session. So this is reminders and review. For new incoming UVA students, the most important thing you can begin to do is to check and read your emails from the college. You need to open them and read them. Luckily, they are brief, but we are sending you lots of instructions and guidance to prepare you for what you're going to do in July and in August. So it's really important, open and read those. As well, we use a text messaging system, so you are getting texts. Please check those. I know most everyone has been keeping track of the ONSP. This is the new student programming portal. Continue to complete your task list there as those become available. But in the meantime, and we will share this link with you in the Q&A, please review the new student guide. This is at the Undergraduate College of Arts and Sciences website. And it's a more detailed list of what you need to be doing, as well as links to the many resources you will need as you prepare for your first semester at UVA. You should also know your curricular pathway, right? Anyone on this call right now as a student is either in the engagements pathway, the disciplines plus pathway, both of which are the college curriculum, or transfer students are on the transfer traditional curriculum, and you have also received instruction about that. Everyone needs to know what their first writing requirement placement is. Again, you have been emailed about this. There's lots of information in those emails and at the new student guide. Please make sure before you get here in July that you know where you stand regarding the first writing requirement. That will make it much easier for us to give you guidance when you're here in person. And last, know the world language placement, your world language placement. This is also important. There are online modules for some of the languages. We hope you have completed those and understand where you are placed. It is not necessary to take a world language in the fall, but since this is a requirement that can take up to 4 semesters to complete, it's not a bad idea to know where you stand before you enroll for the fall semester. So please take a look at all of that. So again, check your email, read those emails, follow the instructions. Next, what we want you to be doing now is engaging with SIS. This is the Student Information System. It is best to use a laptop, but there are features that allow you to use a tablet or a phone. We recommend for enrollment, use a laptop or a computer. Really, really important. What we want you to do is start to navigate SIS. Use the SIS FAQs for students. We will share that link with you as well. And navigate SIS. Go in, verify when your July enrollment appointment time is in SIS. It's good to know how to find that because you'll have to find it every semester for your 4 years at UVA. You should also check your current class schedule in SIS. If you completed any of the pre-enrollment surveys, you should be enrolled in some classes. And so it's good to look at what does your schedule look like now and just verify. It helps to know what are you in. This will also help you when you get here in July. If you have decided that maybe a class you were pre-enrolled in, you changed your mind, we will have students and deans here to help you perform a swap where you can switch that out for another open class. So again, learn how to use SIS, verify your July enrollment appointment, and check your current class schedule. You'll have a chance to add classes and make changes to that schedule in July when you are here with us. This is the big ticket item for you. You should be browsing courses, searching for courses that look interesting. And we want you to put them in your shopping cart. We recommend 10 to 15 completely different classes. This makes it a lot easier for us to help you when you are doing enrollment yourself in July, to help you narrow down to what's open and what fits your schedule. So it's good to have a bunch of different options in your shopping cart. So before you get here in July, add classes to your shopping cart. Real simple. If you're a first-year student, we recommend picking 1,000 and 2,000 level classes. If you, and for everyone, pick interesting college classes. You cannot take classes, academic classes offered by the College of Arts and Sciences that don't meet requirements at UVA. So the best way to start is to stick with college classes. If you have a major in mind, that's great. You should look at the major website and perhaps pick a major prerequisite and have that loaded into your shopping cart. Do not worry at this time about classes looking full. They may be open at your enrollment appointment. So you just need to load interesting classes into your shopping cart. This will help all of us give you guidance about what to do. So load classes into your SIS shopping cart. Do you hear a theme here? Before your July session, add them to the shopping cart, 1,000 and 2,000 level classes, 10 to 15 classes. Sorry, my slideshow is not working. Pick courses that look interesting. Anything you want, get them in the shopping cart. If we have 10, 15, 20 classes, you can see here in the background an image of what it will look like. And this will help everyone when we're sitting with you to know what your interests are and to help you make decisions. And this will really make your July visit much smoother. Next, you need to prepare for this. So we've provided some videos for you already. There's also a SIS FAQ page. We really recommend watching those videos. You can find them at the new student guide. They are short. They're just about a minute long each, but it's for how to browse and enroll in classes, what course codes mean. This is the 3 or 4 digit code that identifies what the course is. Good to know what those are and begin to familiar yourself with this, because the more comfortable you are in navigating SIS, the easier the guided enrollment process will be. Again, we're going to have students and people here to help you and to answer your questions, but the better prepared you are, the more kind of real deep guidance you're going to get from our team when you are here. When you come, this is important. We highly, highly recommend bringing your laptop with you to orientation. If you have a laptop, bring it. On day one, your orientation leaders will help you connect to the wireless internet here at UVA, so you will be connected and off and running. Students tell us that it is much easier to do enrollment from a laptop. You can, if that's all you have, work from a tablet or a smartphone, but know that it's easier from a laptop, and know that the more prep you do in SIS, loading that shopping cart and having kind of paper notes about what it is you want to take, if you're working from a smartphone, it will be a lot easier. But we really recommend bring a laptop. And then come prepared. Know what you want to do. I want to add these classes. I have them in my shopping cart. I don't think I want to take this class. I think I want to switch a class. We call that a swap. If you have them loaded into your shopping cart and you know what you want to do, we will be able to help you start to make changes to your schedule during that July enrollment appointment. And as I end the presentation, I want you to know you will not be done with enrollment after your July enrollment. You'll be a lot closer, but you'll have a couple more opportunities in August to flesh out that schedule, to join wait lists. You'll do that in August, and then to make changes right through the first week of classes. So again, we're really looking forward to having you all here in July. I'm now going to stop a screen share and invite Deans Seidel and Smith to join me here for a conversation. Okay. Dean Seidel and Smith, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I'm grateful that you're here, and I look forward to seeing you either in July or in August when you arrive on grounds. My name's Dean Sandy Seidel. I'm one of the association deans, and I also teach in the biology department.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Dean Connie Chick Smith. I teach in the English department, and I am delighted that you've joined us for this webinar and excited that you'll be visiting us in person as we finish this process and make you a part of this wonderful Wahoo family. So welcome.
All right, Deans, let's dive in. So we have a question right off the bat. How do we know which general education pathway we are in?
KVD, that's a good and important question. If you are a first-year student, you are either in the engagements pathway or the disciplines plus pathway. My suggestion is to search your email. You were notified of your pathway in your email. If you do not find it in your email, my suggestion is to go into SIS and look at your academic requirements report. If it shows that you have engagements required, that means you're in the engagements pathway. A third way to determine this is if you look at your pre-enrolled classes, you are enrolled in two engagements classes. You are enrolled in two engagements classes if you are in the engagements pathway. And if you are still unsure, you can send an email to me or ask the college at virginia.edu.
And one note for students in SIS, there's a new function that students can see called degree progress. And this is a version of the academic requirements report. So it's real easy to find, and that will also tell you what are your general education requirements. And if you see that you need to be taking the engagements, you know you're in the engagements pathway. Okay, next question. Will we be able to switch our pre-enrolled classes during our summer orientation enrollment appointment?
That is absolutely yes. So some students are pre-enrolled in classes, some may not be. If students are pre-enrolled in classes, those students will be able to swap classes if they no longer wish to be enrolled in those classes. Again, students in the engagements pathway, if classes are open, we'll be able to swap into different engagements. You can swap into a different first writing requirement report, and students can absolutely make changes to their schedule both in July and throughout August.
And just to add to everyone, you may build what you think is your perfect schedule in July and early August, and the first week of classes, you get to change your mind. It's very, very common over your 4 years here to make multiple changes to your schedule. So you have not committed to anything during those pre-enrollment surveys, nor during what you enroll in July. So now I want to shift. We've talked a bit about the shopping cart, and we have some really good questions here. Is the shopping cart the same thing as build my schedule?
So the shopping cart is part of building a schedule. Building a schedule is a process, and it's quite a long process. It's a process that you're going to be doing for the next 2 months. So you looking through the schedule of classes, using class search to look at the classes that are actually scheduled, reading through departmental web pages to see prerequisites for departments is part of building a schedule. Moving classes into the shopping cart is part of building a schedule. And then when you're here during your enrollment appointment in July next month, Adding, dropping, and swapping or editing classes is part of building your schedule, and that process will continue throughout the month of August as well.
And a note here, there's a function in SIS called the SIS Schedule Builder. It's a great place to play around and look at what schedules might look like, but know that during this summer enrollment session, your first one, you can't enroll directly out of that. So that's why we ask you to put the classes in the shopping cart. So if you are using the SIS Schedule Builder, that's fine. Just make sure the classes you want are in your shopping cart, because you're enrolling in stages over the course of the summer. And in the future, you'll be able to use the SIS Schedule Builder and perhaps enroll directly from that, just not for this summer. So Dean Smith and Dean Seidel, why do you need 10 to 15 classes in your shopping cart before you come in July?
Variety, KVD, right? Everyone wants to try something different, and building your shopping cart with various courses gives you that opportunity as you're reading through, as Dean Seidel said, all of those courses, add it to your shopping cart. Does not mean you've committed to anything. And just like you've read it and thought it was a phenomenal class, other students have done the same thing. So just in case that class that's so interesting to you is not available when you look to enroll, you have plan B and plan C. So you're still prepared to get exactly what you need.
Thank you, Dean Smith. And a note here as well, this is not add multiple sections of the same class. You need only one of, say, Biology 2100 in your shopping cart, and people can help you find open sections and rearrange your schedule. This is really about what is the vast array of options. We have 52 departments and 65 possible majors. So, right, this part of what we want you to do, Dean Smith, I love how you talk about it. Just go explore, go find classes that look cool in those departments, try something new, have those possibilities in your shopping cart.
Yeah, KVD, for my advisees, I often ask them before their advising appointment to have 20 to 25 classes in the shopping cart. So they are very prepared in case courses at specific courses are full, or if courses at a specific time are full. It's all about maximizing your opportunities and being prepared.
And this is a great question. We're getting into the weeds of building a schedule here. I like it. Can we add classes to our shopping cart that have the same time as classes we are pre-enrolled for?
That's a great question. And the answer is, of course, yes. The shopping cart is really just a wish list. When you go to enroll in classes, you're not permitted to enroll in classes that meet at the same time. But if you have a class preference at a specific time, that's one of the reasons you would use the course swap. You can swap classes that meet at the same time. So you could swap out of a class that's less preferred and into a class that's more preferred, if you'd like to do that.
Do pre-enrolled classes, right? The classes students may have enrolled in after completing those surveys, do those count toward the July enrollment credit / unit cap?
They do, KVD, absolutely. They're included in whatever that cap is, right? So as you're putting things in your shopping cart, keep tally on what's pre-enrolled so you can have an accurate accounting of what's going on.
And for some students, you may find yourself enrolled in 9, 10, or 11 credits already, which means you may only be enrolling in a single class in July as you continue to build out your schedule. So that's okay. It's going to vary student by student depending on what they are pre-enrolled in from those surveys, and that's okay. So you can know now, I'm enrolled in 3 credits. That means I have, 10 or more credits to enroll in. That tells you that's going to be, right, probably 2, 3 classes that you're going to want to have as possibilities to enroll in. And again, since some of those you don't know whether they'll be open on your day, it's good to have lots of options so that you can, again, begin to build a satisfactory schedule while you work toward the beginning of classes when you hopefully will have largely worked out your ideal schedule. I was pre-enrolled in 2 engagement classes that meet at the same time. Is this normal?
It is very normal, KVD. I teach an engagement class. And again, the engagement classes, students in the engagement pathway are enrolled in 2 engagement classes. One of those engagement classes is offered in the first 7 weeks of the semester, and the other engagement class is offered in the second 7 weeks of the semester. So if both engagement classes meet on the same days or at the same time, they meet during different days of the semester. It will make for an easy transition from the first quarter to the second quarter.
Excellent. We have some questions. We have a question about majors here. So first off, can we just start with, when do UVA students declare a major?
Most students declare at the completion of their 4th semester, but that could vary because a number of students come in with credits, right, that may be used toward a major. But just the general rule, by the end of the 4th semester, most students do actually enroll in their major.
And so if you're a student and you think you know what you want to major in, how should that shape your enrollment in the fall? Or for the fall, excuse me.
I think that's a good question, and it's a good guide for how to build a schedule. My suggestion would be, after students consider their engagements and their first writing requirement, I call it opening the doors to a major, and that is to enroll in classes that are prerequisites for declaring that major. My advice for the first 2 years, the first 3 semesters, is to open doors to many majors by enrolling in classes that will permit them to declare that major.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think this is good, right? This is not take all of the prereqs in the first semester. You don't need to do that, and we don't really advise it. This is start, just as you said, open the door, and you have time to get there and declare the major. If anyone listening with us today is considering being on the pre-health, pre-med tracks, we want you to know that if you go to the ONSP portal, there is a pre-health recorded seminar on their website from the University Career Center that you can watch to figure out what you need to take to be on the pre-med track. There's no one answer for what the best path for doing this is. So we really recommend watching that webinar and thinking about what pre-matriculation credits you may have coming in and what you think you want to major in, and that will help you build the schedule. And there's a lot of time to figure that out. So don't make that a worry for July, right? Watch that webinar on pre-health advising, follow that basic advice, and then come prepared in July to continue building your schedule. Oh, and so we're gonna dive into this anyway. So Dean Seidel and Smith, do pre-health students take chemistry and biology both in their first semester?
I'm gonna start with that question since I teach in the biology department. Pre-health students have a variety of different paths because they have a variety of different academic interests. So I can't answer the question without knowing what the academic interests are of a student. In general, I would suggest that students maybe not take biology and chemistry in the fall semester. I might make an exception for a biology major, however, but this is really a question that I will want to talk with a student about either via email or when we do the advising and enrollment in July.
Great, thank you. How do you know how many credits a course counts for?
when you're doing that phenomenal research on CIS and you're reading the details and the description, it may say 3 units, 4 units, 1 unit. Units are considered the credits, right? So as you are getting that information, taking the time to be thorough in the course description and all the attributes, that credit information is usually listed as units.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, another good question. Should we wait until we have our AP credits before we choose classes?
So I've had an email from a student this week to inform me that some AP credit will not be posted until after students come to advising enrollment in these first sessions, maybe sessions A, B, and C. Students, schedules will change. So my suggestion to students is to make informed decisions based on the information that you have now. If a course is important to you and you don't have credit for it, maybe you'll want to enroll in that credit in July. And if the AP credit comes through and you find yourself not needing to take that class because you've been awarded the AP credit, then you can make schedule changes in August. Again, this is a dynamic process with students gaining information depending upon their efforts and their research over the next 2 months. And based on that information, this is why schedules will often change fairly dramatically over the course of the next 2 months of enrollment.
Thank you. And a note to everyone, your AP scores and any dual enrollment credits you have may not show up until in CIS until well into the fall semester. This is a credit by credit, person by person manual analysis. It takes a long time. That's why we've asked you in all of our communications and instructions, you need to know, what do my AP scores earn me in terms of credit? So if you know that your AP score is giving you credit for a specific UVA class, you have already completed that class. So even though it's not showing up in CIS, you know this is probably a class you don't want to repeat at UVA. If you think you need to repeat it, you're going to want to talk to a dean either in July or in August during fall orientation. So please just know that you should understand what your credits are and use that as information to guide what you enroll in. So this is a great question. How do I know which classes are college classes in CIS?
That's a great question. I would suggest that students go to the new student checklist and click on that link that takes them to the college course codes. The college course codes are the mnemonics for classes in the college.
And then watch the video short that's also at the new student guide. That'll help you explain this a little bit further as you're looking in CIS. Where do we find, oh, this is a tricky one that I don't think we can answer. Where do we find our enrollment appointment time in CIS?
Oh, that's an easy.
You got it. Okay, good.
That's an easy question to answer. When you're in CIS, you click on the hyperlink that says enrollment appointment and dates. And in fact, if you go to the new student checklist, there's a hyperlink and in one of the sections that will show students how to find their enrollment appointment in CIS as well.
Oh, excellent. Oh, this is a good question. Do we need to finish our curricular pathway classes in the first year?
Absolutely, positively not.
No.
Right? You've got 8 full-time semesters to complete that degree. Enjoy every semester.
And if you're taking college classes in things that interest you, they are going to count toward curricular requirements. So this is a case where if you're enrolling in college classes, you can worry a lot less about am I meeting requirements, because you are. So know that. When are students who are not going to be able to attend one of the in-person sessions, when are they enrolling?
Okay, VD, that is very important. And I'm trying to get the word out through other avenues. If students read the webpage, the new student checklist, they will see that on July the 20th, which is a Wednesday, students enrolled in session K and students who are not enrolled in any summer orientation session, those students have enrollment appointments for July the 20th.
Yeah, and that's really largely for international students, folks who can't get to Charlottesville, and because it'll be entirely remote. Can you explain the difference between a lecture, a seminar, discussion section, laboratory?
Let's see, that's a big question. So lecture, LEC, oftentimes lectures are classes that meet maybe 60, maybe 120, maybe up to 500 students. Oftentimes you'll meet with a course instructor, and some classes are simply lecture classes. Some lecture classes, however, have an associated and required discussion section. And in the schedule of classes, you'll see that noted as DIS for discussion. This is a required part of that class that meets on a different day and a different time. So for those larger classes of 120 or 200 or 500, the discussion section is a smaller group, a smaller class size, typically around 20, oftentimes led by a discussion graduate student leader, where you actually get to have conversations about the content that's being discussed in the larger lecture. A seminar class, so SEM, oftentimes will denote that the class is a smaller class size, oftentimes, maybe 20, maybe 30 students. And finally, again, I'm in the biology department, a lab, LAB, some classes in the sciences have separate lectures and separate labs. This is particularly true for chemistry and for physics. So if a student is taking the first year chemistry sequence, they need to enroll in both the lecture and the independent separate enrollment. It's a separate course number, a separate course, the lab. This is, and just to complete the story, biology, however, is different. In biology, the lecture and the lab are integrated. So you will enroll in the biology lecture and the associated we call it dependent, because both parts of the class have to be open. So there's a biology lecture and a dependent biology lab, and both of those have to be open to be able to enroll in that introductory, that first year biology class. But in chemistry, the lecture enrollment and the laboratory enrollment are two separate and independent enrollments.
And for everyone, as you're moving classes to your shopping cart, if a course has a dependent component, a discussion section or a laboratory, as Dean Seidel just described, you need to choose both a lecture and a discussion or a laboratory to actually complete enrollment in the class. You can't simply pick the lecture. So just keep that in mind as you are choosing classes. It will sort of force you to pick both when you go to enroll. So it's good to have identified both and have them in your shopping cart. So excellent. I'm just going to briefly field this question, which is we're getting some questions about the credit cap. Everyone has a credit cap, and what we are doing, and this is important, we are slowing down the process. You don't get to jump right in and enroll in 17 credits and run. We want you to have multiple opportunities to think about, make new choices, and rethink and talk to people about what you're enrolling in. That's why there's pre-enrollment, there's a July enrollment, and then there's August. So we're stretching this out on purpose. We want you to get used to enrollment is always a 2 or 3 month long process that involves changes. And so we're hopefully conditioning you to this reality. And we're also slowing it down because we want to make sure everybody gets a pretty reasonable shot at getting into the classes they hope to enroll in for the fall. And if this is one of the ways to sort of do a little gatekeeping, slow it down, give everybody a chance. So that's what the credit cap is. You'll have a credit cap every time you enroll. It will always be followed by an open enrollment period when it bumps up a little bit. That's just how it goes. So it's good to get used to it now. This is a good question and related to credit caps and enrollment. I want to add a class, but it says it will exceed my term unit maximum. What does that mean?
So I believe that is an error that a student will get if they are trying to enroll in credits beyond the credit limit that's set at that specific time. Again, when students come in July, they're going to have a certain credit cap. And you can see what that credit cap is when you look at your enrollment appointment in SIS. That credit cap will increase in August, and the August dates are, guess where they're located? They're in the new student checklist webpage. And that credit cap will increase gradually in August to the maximum, which is a 17 credit limit for all students in the college.
Oh, I'm very excited about this question. I know we are all fans of this seminar. Can you talk about the COLA seminar, the College Advising Seminar? What is it? Why should I take it? When do I have an opportunity to take one?
KVD, you know that I am the self-proclaimed queen of COLAs. I'm delighted that this question was posed. COLAs are 1-credit courses. They are only offered in the fall semester for incoming students. They are taught by instructors, and that instructor will be your advisor. They're small classes designed that way so that we build community, right? And they're all first-year students, phenomenal topics. Part of the course is to teach you the discipline, but the other part of the course is to introduce you and acclimate you to the resources and the wonderful people that you have at your disposal at UVA. So if you have not considered a COLA, I strongly encourage you to do so. And I just got a plug because I'm teaching a COLA this fall. And my COLA is Brooklyn's in the House. So if you love music, hip hop in particular, you will learn lots about Jay-Z and Biggie. Thanks, KVD.
Can I plug my COLA too?
Absolutely.
So I teach a college advising seminar because I love to advise first year students, and my college advising seminar is called Mindfulness, Awareness, and Habit, and it is an advising seminar where we discuss and do quite a number of mindfulness practices. We do lots of deep breaths, a nice deep breath in and a long, slow, deep breath out to activate that part of our nervous system.
And please, everyone, COLAs are something you only take in the fall of your first year. They're just a great way to get to know a faculty member and navigate your first semester at UVA with a room with only 17 other first years who maybe don't live on your dorm floor. They're not about connecting to a major. They're just, I think, really interesting courses, and it's about learning to navigate the university and developing a really close personal relationship with an advisor. And I know Dean Seidel and Dean Smith can tell you stories. I still have contact with people who took a COLA with me and they graduated 8 years ago, and we still talk. So know that that's why you take the course. It's about that relationship. So if you can fit one in your schedule, do. Don't worry if in July your favorite one isn't available. You're going to get on a wait list in August. As all of you are busy changing your schedule, there'll be a lot of turnover, and you'll probably be able to get into one that you're interested in. And again, we can't recommend them enough. So this is another, we're going to come back to an AP question here that I think is both about kind of a technicality of SIS enrollment and also about making informed choices for what to take in the fall. So this is, if we know, and the word here is exempted from a class because of our AP credits, but this is really I've earned the credit for the class already. Can we enroll in a class that requires the class I'm going to have AP credit for, even if the AP credit hasn't posted yet? I hope that made sense.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. So the answer is, as it is so many times, it depends.
Mhm.
So if a student knows that they have AP credit, then they know that they've earned credit for that UVA equivalent class, if it's a UVA equivalent class. So they could move to the next class. The question is, can they enroll in whatever that next class is? And this requires the student to do a little bit of research. And that research is to look not only at what the next class is, but to click the hyperlink and read the class details page in SIS. If there is an enrollment requirement for a prerequisite class, the class that comes before, new students will not be able to enroll in that next class if there is an enrollment requirement until that AP credit is posted to their academic record. If there's a prerequisite class and it's not an enrollment requirement that's explicitly stated as an enrollment requirement on the class details page, then the student will be able to enroll in that class. The bottom line is, if they don't have a prerequisite course that's needed, SIS will not permit them to enroll in that class until that prerequisite is met, until it's part of their academic schedule. I hope that answered the question.
Great. No, thank you. And usually I don't have a date for everyone, but AP credits are usually the first thing that gets posted. So if you have submitted all of your scores to the college, they will likely be posted in time for you to make some of those changes in SIS. It's the dual enrollment credits that take a little bit longer. If you want to take a new language in the college, I love this question. If you want to take a new language in the college, not a language you were studying in high school, should you still take the placement module, complete the placement module?
That's a good question. If a student wants to take a brand new language, and ASL may be a brand new language for some, Chinese may be a brand new language, or Arabic or Urdu. If a student has no experience, the student can enroll in the first semester of that class, which is typically 10-10. And there is no need to take the placement exam for a new language learner. You know that you're going to start at the beginning, which is typically 10-10.
And no need to continue with the language you took in high school if you have no interest in doing so. So this is a great opportunity to jump and take a new language. We highly recommend it. How do we know if our transfer AP, IB credit, and any pre-matriculation credit, how do we know if it counts toward discipline requirements? Toward general education requirements?
I like that question, KVD, because it lets me answer an embedded question and for students. And students may also be asking, how do I know if my AP, IB, or dual enrollment credit has posted to my academic record? And when I talk about the academic record, I talk about what a student can see in SIS. So there are a number of different ways to be able to see this, but there should be a link to a transfer credit report. And in the transfer credit report, that should list all AP, all IB, dual enrollment credit, and it may actually list some ACT or SAT scores. So that's one of the many ways where you can see if that test and dual enrollment credit is posted. And then how do you know if any of those courses fulfill college requirements? That's where a student would look at the academic requirements report in SIS, or as you were describing earlier in the webinar, what's the new degree progress report that a student can also access in SIS.
Thank you. And as you're looking at those credits, right, when they may have not populated in SIS yet, but you know what credits you're going to earn, it's very easy. If the credit ends in T, so HIST 1000T, any credit that ends in T is going to count as college credit. It's going to count as credit toward completing the degree, but those are not considered UVA equivalent classes and will not meet specific general education requirements. But if you have incoming credit, you know you're going to have biology 2100, BIOL 2100, or CHEM 1410, or Econ 2010. Those count toward requirements just as the UVA class does, because we are considering your test scores or your dual enrollment credit as the equivalent of the UVA class. So you can know in that case, if it's going to come in with no T, it is in fact a UVA class and it will meet the same requirements the UVA class does. So that's something to keep an eye on as you are figuring this all out over the summer. And this bears repeating because, right, if you're wondering if things meet the disciplines requirements, one, when you look at a class in SIS, check the course details. It will tell you which educational requirements it may meet, if any. And two, when you enroll in a class, or if you are already enrolled in a class, you check degree progress or the academic requirements report, and that class is going to show, even though you may not have completed it yet, it's going to show that it will meet a certain discipline requirement. So this is really good. Learn to read now your degree progress report or academic requirements report, so you understand how credits you have already earned and courses you are enrolled in are helping you complete the degree. And the only thing missing from your degree progress and your academic requirements report right now is your major, because you don't have one. And at some point, probably 3 or 4 semesters in, when you actually declare a major, it will also show up in SIS and you'll be able to track it in those same spots. Oh, this is a good question. I can hear some of the anticipation and anxiety about July here. Will students in earlier orientation sessions have more access to classes?
Yeah, we understand that concern, KVD, and that's why seats, we're holding seats in many classes, and those seats are going to be released at each orientation session, so to provide some equity and some fairness. So whether you attend session A or whether you attend session F, there will be seats released in all of the popular classes that we're holding seats for during both those sessions. This brings up something that's important as students are adding courses to their shopping cart, and that is to totally ignore if the class is full or waitlisted right now, because those seats are going to be released the morning of our advising and enrollment session. Those many courses look closed or waitlisted now, but when those seats are released, they will be open for the students to enroll in during the month of July.
Thank you, Dean Sodell. So again, short answer, it doesn't matter which enrollment session you come to, you have the same opportunity to enroll in classes. And this is going to follow you throughout your time here, right? That you will enroll according to priority. Priority is really driven by your time at UVA. So 4th years enroll first, followed by 3rd years, 2nd years, and 1st years. That's just how it goes. And there's good reasons for that. All you need to know is when you come in July, doesn't matter which one you come to, you'll have a chance to get into some classes. And if you don't get into all of them, you're going to learn to use the wait list in August, and you can talk to students about this in July when you are here sitting with them. But UVA students use wait lists to get into full classes. That's how it goes. So that's okay if you don't fully complete your schedule until the end of 1st week of classes. that just means you're a UVA student. So don't worry about that. So I want to take a quick breath of fresh air from enrollment, because we've been asked, Dean Smith, will you be discussing Tupac in your COLA? Now, I want to know too. So.
Well, I'm a Brooklyn person and the class is Brooklyn in the house, but we do give recognition and acknowledge a variety of other artists, including Tupac.
Thank you. That's a great question. So I'm just going to, instead of feeding this question to you, I'm going to walk through this for all of the international students or long distance students who can't attend one of the July in-person sessions. The July 20th session will be a virtual version of what everyone else is doing. You will have an enrollment appointment. You should verify that in SIS. You will have an opportunity during that enrollment appointment to join a Zoom session to get some guidance. And you'll be sent a specific link for that Zoom session that's tied to your enrollment appointment. And so you'll just sit in Zoom and navigate SIS on your own from home with our support. And this is what students for the 2 years of the pandemic did. So we know you can do it. It works. We'd rather have you here in person, but we understand not everyone can get here. So you'll have that option, but simply know, check your email, read your email, and make sure you know when your enrollment appointment starts on July 20th and be ready to go in advance of that appointment time. And that goes for everybody, right? For those of you who are here in person, your orientation leaders will bring you to Clemens Library, where we will sit you down and you'll have 2 hours to do some enrolling, and there'll be students and deans on hand to help you. That'll be in person. And again, session K, July 20th, you'll do that through Zoom. And waitlists, we keep getting waitlist questions. You will join waitlists in August. And Dean Seidel, am I right that it's August 2nd is the first date that students can join waitlists?
Correct.
August 2nd. And this goes the same. Some of you may run into courses that require instructor permission. You can put them in your shopping cart, but you do not attempt to enroll in those until August, because you have a narrow window where you can enroll in classes and you won't be granted permission in time to enroll. So don't worry about those. Leave them in your shopping cart. If it's a course you really want and it requires instructor permission, on August 2nd, you complete instructor permission, and then you keep checking your email. Again, really important, because you will be emailed if granted permission. And as soon as you get that email, you get to log into SIS and complete enrollment in a permission class. So again, permission courses and waitlist courses are a project for August, and that starts August 2nd. And I like to warn everyone, just know, if it's a waitlist and you join it on August 2nd, you then have to wait. Right? There's no instant gratification here. And from August 2nd to at least the 15th, nobody's here, right? UVA is not really, classes have ended, the fall session hasn't started, you haven't moved in yet, and the 3/4 of students who are returning aren't here, aren't in SIS, and they're not going to start making changes to their schedule until about a week before classes. So know that you'll sit and wait. It will be frustrating if you let it be. Don't, just sit and wait and know when they return, everything will start to move quite a bit. And so this goes for waitlisted classes. If you see a class that's waitlisted, put it in your shopping cart. There are likely seats available in it. We've held seats. And so we made sure when students were enrolling in April that we were holding back seats for all of you. So don't worry about the wait list now. Put it in your shopping cart. If you don't get it in July, you know in August you're going to join the wait list. So that's how this works. We are just about out of time. I want to thank everyone for attending and listening. I will remind you that we will post this video online, so you will have access to it. Please keep checking the new student guide. Read it closely. You'll notice I keep repeating this. Read your email, open your emails, read them closely, follow the instructions. It will help. And we look forward to seeing you in July. So thank you to Dean Seidel and Dean Smith and my entire team, whom you couldn't see, who is invisibly answering your questions in the Q&A. Great job, everyone. We hope this was helpful for all of you. And we look forward to seeing you in July. Thank you so much for attending.